Well, hello, my soul friends. It's Victoria. I'm wondering if you've been noticing some inner storms. It's kind of like the perfect storm of things that have been bubbling under the surface coming forward. Why? For transformation. Why? For healing. Why? I know we're so tired of this, right? But truly, it's kind of have you noticed any inner outer storms going on in your life, or feeling under pressure or more intensity, or have you been noticing more old wounds resurfacing that have felt kind of tender, and maybe they're connected to power struggles where you're trying to um, what's the word? Advocate for yourself. Speak from a new empowered place, and maybe the person you're speaking to isn't as receptive because they liked you the old way. Any of that? Well, I want to talk more about this. I feel like there's a lot coming up, a lot of unresolved issues surfacing, kind of in a volcanic volcano way. I don't know. I'm trying to say there's a lot of aspects in this new moon. I may not go over every single one, but it's kind of like suppressed rage bubbling up, suppressed, or anywhere you felt suppressed and not in your power, or where you're feeling limited and things like that. Anybody relate? Well, the good news is we're in Taurus season, and so we're held in this beautiful, earthy, grounded, it's like Mother Earth wants to just wrap her arms around you and just, pat you on the back and say, there, my child, you're going to be okay. Growing pains. And I know I've been saying this for months and months, but hard times are growing times, and we are in growing times, especially during the heart of spring, which is Taurus season. So I'll tell you more about it. I hope you have your chart and you know where this is going to happen. It's at 7 degrees of Taurus. Is that right? I have to look at the chart. So you're going to pull your chart up. You're going to go to astro.com or any other free app that you can look at your chart. I use either Placidus or Porphyry because I think it's more accurate. That's just my personal view, and from the teachers I've studied with, a lot of people use pole sign, which makes it easier to track your transits. Up to you, right? But you're going to look at where is 7 degrees of Taurus in your chart. Just some basics to cover. New moons are when the sun and the moon are exactly conjunct. In this case, it's 7 degrees and 46 arc minutes. I think that's how you say that. I'll tell you what, I have been learning the language of symbolic astrology since I was a kid. I found it helpful to understand human nature, to understand the people I was living my life with, to understand myself more. And there's so much more I don't know. And sometimes I hesitate. Like I say, I'm not really an astrologer. I use this as a tool to guide us all, including myself, as souls having a human experience. My goodness, I always say, do you think Creator would send us without any support? I think of it, the soul chart, that's what I call them anyway, or natal chart, soul chart, as our sort of soul print, our compass, our guide, right? A map, if you will. So if you want to follow along and look at where that is, I'm going to go back to my notes. And if I haven't yet, welcome you to the channel. Did I? I don't know. I'm having such a fuzzy day. I'm going to tell you more about, there's something going on with me that I'm going to tell you about in just a little bit. That will explain why I'm a little off sometimes or lately on these videos. Anyway, let's see. Okay. I hope you're feeling held by the Taurus season, though. I mean, really, I think it's such an invitation to get outside, to ground, to all the things, I was saying about the new moon. Okay, see? I'm going to explain this to you in a moment. New moon, so exactly conjunct. New moon in Taurus, so it's really just amplifies the feeling of Taurus. I always say we get to borrow the feeling, the qualities, the archetypal expression of the sign. In this case, it's Taurus. And, it's an earth sign, it's a fixed sign, and it's in general a lovely season, but we've got some intensity because we have a T square, which is an opposition with two squares. And in themselves, a square can be intensity. It's just really like pointing, like pushing to what's not working, and needing to take action. And opposition is seeing like the dynamics that you're in struggle with, the things that need to be reconciled, integrated. Could be power struggles with others or inner power struggles. Some of your inner parts are in conflict, right? So again, beautiful news. We get to lean into Taurus. We get to follow or lean into the qualities of patience, of tenacity, of persistence, of finding pleasure in the simple things, right? And Taurus folks, and happy Taurus season to those of you who have a birthday around this season or during Taurus season. It's your personal new year, your solar return. So extra, I always feel more empowered around my solar return. So may you be feeling that as well. But this, the energy is natural for you. And those of us who don't have a lot of Taurus in our charts get to borrow it. So we learn from our Taurus friends about, kind of just slow and steady wins the race, about pacing and plodding, and just being like, okay, no matter what. I feel like Taurus season is we follow the lead of nature. It's everything's in a cycle. Everything's unfolding naturally, normally, at its own pace. We are nature too. So we have to remember that there's different seasons, different paces. We're not all in, even though we're in the northern hemisphere, we're in spring, and it's really, you may be in the winter of your soul, right? Some are more in a different cycle, but so this is all in general, the general transits. You are the expert of you. You look at your chart, you feel into your world, you soul track what's happening in your life. What are you noticing? How does it correspond to what I'm talking about or what the astrology is in general? And that's, I think, how you get to know yourself better and trust the natural cycles unfolding, right? Okay. So I was thinking about, what does this feel like? Have you been noticing the intensity? We have had the exact Mars-Pluto opposition happens yesterday. This has been going on for 6 months. Began in November. I think it was November 3rd of 2024. We had the first opposition. The second one was, I think, January 3rd, and now here we are in April. So for 6 months, you may have been feeling this kind of pressure building, this intense look at some area of your life. So you want to look at where Mars in Leo is in your chart, what house is Leo, where Mars has been moving through, and where Pluto in Aquarius, right across from Leo, is in your chart. And that's the dynamic where you may have felt like this pressure cooker energy. I was thinking, kind of like we're becoming diamonds in that area of our life. Pressure. That's alchemizing all that's, can be put to use towards purpose, towards why you're here, right? Towards transformation, towards solutions or solutions, right? What your soul wants you to get to. So I think, with the intensity, I think a T-square can be like being pushed into knowing, being pushed into a realization, or taking action towards a direction that you need to go. I think, Taurus season is all about restoration, renewal, and we think of the new moon as planting seeds of new possibilities, right? For what we desire to grow. It's growing season. But I wonder if your personal values have been tested. I think most likely they have, not just in your world, but maybe in what's unfolding in the world, and in particular in the USA. This kind of dynamic of being tested and feeling frustrated that values aren't being mirrored back or met. And also, it's about where maybe your needs have been glaringly unmet. And maybe by you, maybe you've not met your own needs, and maybe your body's giving you feedback right now, or maybe you were in an unconscious pattern with your partner or friends or family, and you never spoke up to say, you know what, my favorite line I like to teach my clients, that doesn't work for me. What I need is, and cultivate that need being met by you, but then teach people to meet you in that need. Here's what it will look like. I have a need for, this is what it looks like. Here's how it would feel for me to have that need met by you, right? So it is also a time to focus on resources, inner and outer, which is when I teach my clients about needs, I always, because that's where we get into frustration or disappointment, or expectations are let down because we're wanting the need to get met by someone else, which is a beautiful thing, but not if you're not meeting that need yourself first. We can't expect someone else to give us what we're not already giving ourselves, right? So it is a time of like resourcing. And I love when you think of resource, it's resource. So you could think of that many different ways. In fact, tell me what you think about resource. And please do comment below. Subscribe if you haven't. Share a clip of the video if it speaks to you. But resource. So resourcing inner and outer. Inner world, outer world. And as within, so without. As we are frustrated by the external world, we must look at our inner worlds and say, what is being triggered? What is being awakened? What is needs a remodel, right? So I wonder if I've been hearing from a lot of people and clients, even myself, where needs are not being met. And so I think that this is a focal point for this, especially with Mars and Leo. Mars is like taking energy and asserting what you're worthy of, right? And Taurus is all about self-worth and our values, okay? So some more of the Taurus qualities, and if you are a Taurus, let me know what qualities you most identify with. If I don't say them, comment below. And when is your birthday? When did you arrive on the planet? Let me know that too. And where are you viewing from? That's in general. If you're watching this right now, let me know where you're viewing from. Okay, so I love Taurus qualities, and this is where we're invited to root into some of these, to root into patience, to our own earthiness and our inner stability and inner security. No matter what is going on in the world, you can cultivate that, and we really need to at this time, right? With so much chaos and swirling and uncertainty, let's learn from Taurus. One step and then the next step. Trusting the pace, trusting and having patience, and determination and will. There's Taurus gets the bad rap about being stubborn. Well, typically all fixed signs have that, and I'm a Scorpio, fixed sign with Moon and Leo, fixed sign. And so fixed signs can appear stubborn. They're just really fixed. They're really certain. They're really like, this is working. Why would I change anything else? So I always say to folks like us, stubbornness and determination are the same energy. It's just the way you're using it, right? Stubbornness can be like digging your heels in the sand and not budging even though you want to, but you're just like, nope. In fact, I was listening to somebody and they were talking about stubbornness, and they were saying, in fixed signs, that they usually start with no. And I thought I just learned that from my family because I heard that a lot growing up. Like, no. But now I hear it coming out of my mouth, like from my husband. Do you want to go? No. Instead of just waiting and seeing how I can flex a little bit with that, request he has or what he's inviting me to. Because it's the fixed is like, I've got this agenda, I'm going this way, I'm doing it this way, but we can get really, really stuck there. And so this new moon in Taurus might show us where we're stuck, where we're stubborn, where we need to flip that stubbornness into determination, determined to find a way, determined to be curious, determined to be open, determined to try something new. It's a new moon in Taurus. Let's try something new. So yeah, I think of Taurus folks as, they enjoy the simple pleasures, and the energy of Taurus is that, like, you know what? No matter what's going on in the world, go plant a garden, have fun gardening, have joy bringing what you planted and grew and nurtured to your table. And it's very much about nurturing ourselves, nurturing others, nurturing ways to have a beautiful life, even if it looks differently than you thought. And this came up strong when I was feeling into this new moon, um, the timing of this, and what else has been going on. I feel like a lot of people, we are collectively grieving. We have been for a while, but this type of collective grieving is often because, life isn't like you hoped it would be, either in the collective or in your personal life. Your life is not how you hoped it would be. I know this has been coming up for me, and a lot of people I know. It's this, oh, this is where I'm at. This is how old I am. Even I have like young clients that feel this, right? This is how old I am, and I didn't do the thing, and I haven't done that, and I wanted to, and I thought I would have, and I'm not. Grief. So remember, I always say grief is adjusting to life not as it was, but I would also say grief can be adjusting to life not being how you thought it would be. And Taurus season invites us, especially this new moon, it invites us to say, okay, well, what's here that's good? And we look at the simple pleasures, we look at the simple joys, we look at the simple gifts of life, and we have gratitude. Taurus is like very like, yeah, all right, this is good, Although there's an interesting quality about Taurus, which is values like high quality, but like for the right price, or they can be practical or thrifty. Like, I'm not going to spend a lot of money unless it's quality. So it's more like quality, not quantity. In fact, I was called to pull all my clothes out today, and I'm recording this the day before the new moon, which I usually do 3 or 4 days in advance. But I'm going to explain to you something that's going on with me that is changing this platform here. Anyway, I just pulled all my clothes out in the what is that, Marie Kondo, whatever her name is, does it spark joy? I don't follow that principle. I follow, is it really, this is what I was thinking, well, I'm doing this in Taurus season. Is this a practical item? Does it even fit me anymore? Does it represent who I am or who I'm becoming? It's got to go, right? So shedding, very much shedding. That Mars opposite Pluto, I think, is like shedding, releasing, and purging what's slowing you down or keeping you in a way of being that's not who you are, and something new is trying to emerge through this, right? So, okay, so those are some of the qualities about Taurus. Very sensual, very connected to all the senses. They're foodies, love good food, good wine, all the good stuff, the simple pleasures that really just, we're in the physical in Taurus season. We're in the material world. We're in the, wow, put my feet on the earth and go pick something out of the garden, that kind of a feeling. Okay, so I'll tell you, here's what I want to announce, and I'll say more about this new moon, that this is going to be my last video for a while, and I feel a little tender about that. But not only am I needing to lean into the slower, nurturing pace of Taurus season, I'm actually experiencing some health issues, and I have been for a while, but I've not been able to put my finger on what's going on. So we're getting in some area that I'm like, okay, this makes sense of why I've been so tired and all the other things. And I'm not going to go into all of it. I may share more later, but it's just I'm running on very low energy, and I know part of it is I'm a very sensitive soul. What's going on in the world. I don't even watch news like I used to. I do check in for my prayer list, what I need to pray for, but I feel it, and I know people who are empathetic like I am. You're feeling it too. There's a heaviness, there's a dread, there's a, how are we going to grow through this? Even though we know we're evolving. This is a evolving time, a growing time, but we're kind of being, seeing all that doesn't work, right? And it can be exhausting. But so that's that's real, but there's something really going on in my body. So I also I need time to reflect, because I'll tell you what, I when I started this channel in 2020, I was so excited. I had so much joy and passion. And then I was like, lately, and I don't know if it's because of my physical stuff that I've just been kind of burnt out, tired, or I've lost the trail of the passion for being here. And what am I supposed to offer? So I'm going to take some time to reflect. It's a perfect time. Maybe you're feeling this call too, to slow down, reflect, do some visioning. And this is what I'm going to be doing. Reflecting on what am I offering here on YouTube, and is it needed? Does it have value? And what else can I do? And I got to find that spark of passion for me and reignite that to be of service in this way. So I'm going to be taking off the month of May. That's all for right now, maybe longer, for that time of reflection and healing and visioning for what's next. So please do stay connected to the channel, because if I go away and then everybody else goes away, then I don't know if why would I come back? I was growing consistently for a while, and it's kind of slowed down. But I always hear from people, oh, I watched your video, and then I'm like, did you comment? Oh no, I was in a hurry, or I couldn't do that. For anybody you watch on YouTube, please comment and subscribe if you haven't, even if someone like me is going to take a little step away, because it builds the outreach and on YouTube, and gets me into some kind of algorithms. But you're supporting people and doing that. And here's another tip: if you really like someone's channel, and maybe mine, watch a second video immediately after you watch this one. Why? Because again, when YouTube sees, these videos are moving, it'll send them out to more people. So comment, watch other videos. I don't know, like over 400 videos. Some of them are specific to astrology, but a lot of them, because this was my intention for this channel, are transformational. Go watch some of those. I have a few meditations. I wanted to do more, and maybe I will when I come back, but go watch those and comment and keep the channel active until I come back. And please reach out to me at my email, thesoulnurturer@gmail.com, or through my website at victoriajazwick.com. I'll put them in the description box. And hey, if you want to vision with me, and if you've thought, yeah, I like Victoria's videos, but you know what, I'd love for her to do this, or talk about this, or blah, blah, blah. I have so many topics that are not about astrology. These tend to be my most popular videos, but I really just want to help people right where they are with various topics. So I may do a different video to just talk about what's on my heart. Okay. So let's see. I wanted to talk, oh gosh, I'm already at 22 minutes. So I'll just really quickly, the other things going on aspects wise, I talked about the T-square, which is two squares in an opposition. So we've got Mars in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius, and then they are squaring the moon and the sun. Okay. So I was thinking about, intensity. We also have a lot of aspects to Lilith. And Lilith to me is like deep rage for being dishonored or not valued and suppressed. So I wonder, are you noticing? I've been feeling this for the last 6 months. I think it's been Mars and Pluto, but with Lilith here too, square Mars, square Pluto, it could be really old wounds, really old resentment or hurt. And that's really what anger is. It's deep hurt surfacing. So it's like volcanic, just, you got to get it out. You got to move it. My suggestion would be to just write it out, write the things you wouldn't say, but you need to say, and then burn it, shred it, stomp on it, get it out before you release it. And then ask yourself, where have I felt displaced, rejected, and where is my personal power needed? Okay, we all have gifts and unique personal power to share, and we may not be where we're being accepted, and we got to just keep trying, knock on other doors, connect with other people. The other significant aspect is Venus conjunct Saturn. This has been going on since April 20th and will continue until April 27th on the new moon. It was exact on the 24th. So we're assessing, applying lessons learned to love and money and self-worth. Or, we're still learning those lessons, or taking the lessons seriously. Like I know my worth and I'm going to teach others my worth, right? Or having those hard conversations about wanting more structure in relationship where it's not working, where you're not being honored, right? So that's been going on. So it's been like kind of some heavy stuff. And really what we need to get to is create that healthy relationship in ourselves, increase your self-worth. That you've heard it said over and over again that money is energy, right? And there is a correlation to low self-worth and low flow of money, resources. Remember, we're resourcing. And so what I think of resource personally, it's to reconnect to source, to creator, to God, to Jesus, to however you connect. Resource who you truly are. Resource your authentic self, your essence. I feel like there's a collective dying off. Have you ever done like a cleanse, and first thing is like all the worst things happen, like say your skin breaks out, or you're having digestive issues, you change your diet and you're purging and it's the die off. It's like all the toxicities leaving your body, and it's chaotic at first, it's painful, you want to stop what you're doing, let's go back to eating the junk food or whatever it is, but you got to keep going. You got to keep pouring the water in the cup to clear out all the stuff that needs to be released. So that's what we're doing, folks. And I think this resourcing, being your own self-resourcing, like not being self-reliant. Yes, you want to invite people to meet your needs, but you must meet them first and be creative about it. So resorting, maybe that too, resourcing, and practicing patience, tenacity, nurturing yourself and your body, and plotting. Is it plotting or plotting? I think it's plotting. I don't know. And this is part of what's going on with me. I'm very lightheaded, and I'm just very tired a lot. And so you can send your prayers my way. I would really appreciate them. And maybe I'll say more about what's going on later. So yeah. And maybe this is about starting your own garden, 2 gardens. One, an actual material garden, planting seeds in the soil. And I always love to teach this to, say you're going to plant a vegetable garden or a flower garden. Create a correspondence to, say you're going to plant sunflowers. What does the sunflower represent in terms of qualities that you want to create and cultivate? Sunflowers are my favorite flowers because they follow the light, they nourish others, and they just look like they're smiling all the time, right? They bring me joy. So if I were to plant sunflowers, I would put underneath the little marker sunflowers, and then joy, nourishment, and connected to the light. So when you plant the seed, it's like symbolically you're planting the seed in your being to cultivate that inside of you. So you have a physical garden, and then you have your soul garden. And as you water your physical garden and you nurture the seeds you've planted that you want to grow towards your purpose, towards your possibilities, then you flourish together. Okay? All right. So just simplify, get out in nature, take those practical steps towards what's calling you, especially needs, taking care of your needs, especially around security and stability, and simplifying what that looks like. Because despite what's going on in the world, let your world be beautiful and joyful, and may you feel safe, may you feel loved, may you feel valued and held by that, and rest there and restore there, and then rise back up when you're ready. All right, thanks for being with me. Stay connected to the channel, watch other videos, comment, And I'll be back. And I'm not sure if it's in June or longer, but I will be back. All right, take good care of yourself. You're worth it. And see you next time, whatever that is. Bye bye.